Hey, Future RN. Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is one of the most common and honestly most tested rhythms you're going to see on the NCLEX. It pops up everywhere: med-surg, cardiac, priority questions. So today, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know so you can answer those questions with total confidence. Welcome to ClearPath NCLEX.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start by decoding AFib on an ECG. Then we'll jump into key causes and symptoms, nail down your priority nursing actions, cover the must-know meds and teaching, and finally, lock it all in with the big NCLEX takeaways. Let's get right into it.
All right, first things first, you have got to be able to spot AFib on a rhythm strip. It's a skill you absolutely need, but don't you worry, I'm going to break it down so it's super simple to remember.
So what is atrial fibrillation really? Well, instead of the atria giving a nice, strong, organized squeeze, they just quiver. It's completely chaotic. And all that chaos sends a jumble of electrical signals down to the ventricles, which is what causes that irregular heartbeat.
Okay, listen up, because this is the most important part for identifying AFib. There are two features you have to burn into your brain. First, it is always irregularly irregular. And second, there are no clear P waves. Let's say that again. Irregularly irregular, with no P waves. You'll just see these chaotic little squiggles, which we call fibrillatory waves.
So now you can spot it. Great. But why does it happen in the first place, and what does the patient actually look like? The NCLEX loves to test you on causes and symptoms, so let's dig in.
You can pretty much guarantee you'll get questions on risk factors. The most common causes are things that put extra stress on the heart. Think long-term hypertension, heart failure, or having recent heart surgery. But also keep an eye out for other triggers like hyperthyroidism, a pulmonary embolism, and even too much alcohol, which you'll sometimes hear called holiday heart. Now here's a tricky part. Some patients feel totally fine. They are completely asymptomatic. Others, though, really feel it. That rapid, inefficient rhythm means less blood is getting pumped out, which can cause palpitations, shortness of breath, dizziness, and even a dangerous drop in blood pressure. Okay, this is your moment. This is where you step in and shine as the nurse. Let's walk through your priority actions when you see AFib on the monitor. Just remember to always think safety first. You've got this. Always start with your nursing fundamentals. Don't just treat the monitor, treat the patient. That means assessing their ABCs, getting a full set of vitals, and asking about their symptoms. After that, you'll get a 12-lead ECG to confirm everything, and of course, get that IV line started. Once you've done that initial assessment, everything you do next comes down to the answer to this one critical question. Is my patient stable, or are they unstable? And here is a huge NCLEX safety point. If your patient is unstable, we're talking low blood pressure, confusion, severe chest pain, you need to think electricity. Your priority is to prepare for immediate synchronized cardioversion. But if they're stable, you can think medications. We have time to use drugs to get the rate under control. So remember, unstable gets electricity, stable gets med. Okay, let's talk about the long-term game plan. This is all about the key medications you'll be giving and the absolutely essential teaching your patient needs to go home safely and avoid complications. Treatment for AFib really boils down to three goals. We want to control the rate, sometimes control the rhythm, and most importantly, prevent strokes. For rate control, think beta blockers like metoprolol or calcium channel blockers like diltiazem. And for that critical stroke prevention piece, the patient will almost always be on an anticoagulant. And this right here is exactly why anticoagulation is a non-negotiable. When those atria just quiver, blood can pool and form clots. If one of those clots breaks free and travels to the brain, you get a stroke. And that is the #1 long-term danger we are fighting against. Your patient teaching is so incredibly important. You have to make sure they know to take their medications perfectly, to recognize stroke symptoms using the FAST acronym, and because they're on anticoagulants, they need to know all about bleeding precautions. You know, simple things like using a soft toothbrush and an electric razor. All right, you've taken in a lot of information. Let's do a quick drill with a couple of NCLEX-style questions just to make sure you're ready for test day. Okay, take a second and think about this one. What are those two hallmark signs we've been talking about over and over? You got it. It's atrial fibrillation. The two giveaways are right there in the question. Irregularly irregular and no P waves. You totally nailed it. All right, next one. Think it through. Look at that blood pressure. Look at the symptoms. What's your priority? Is this patient stable or unstable? Absolutely. Prepare for immediate synchronized cardioversion. That patient is unstable.
The low blood pressure and chest pain are major red flags. Meds are just too slow in a situation this critical.
And here it is, your final cheat sheet. The thing about AFib on the NCLEX is that it's super predictable. Master these points, the ECG signs, the difference between stable and unstable treatment, and that the biggest risk is always a stroke, and you are going to crush these questions. You have totally got this. Thanks so much for watching with us at ClearPath NCLEX. If this helps clear things up for you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more high-yield content to help you pass the first time. See you in the next one.